Alright. It's time for some more Salt Mines. I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for sending me so many replays. And honestly, I don't know if it's my attitude, but I've been, like, opening replays, reading... I didn't even get to do an intro! Serpentax says eat shit and die. That's a great way to start the match. I love it. I was going to say, I don't know if it's I'm just in a good mood lately, but I keep opening submissions from people, reading, like, one line of the chat and just going... that I'm gonna cast that game or reading. I try not to spoil myself on what happens, and I've got this whole folder of replays where I'm like, just fucking these all seem decent to cast. Maybe not all of these will go up on YouTube, but I'm gonna have fun casting them live on stream, and we'll throw the best ones up on YouTube either way. It is the Salt Mines, for those who don't know, a show where we basically just watch people have mental breakdowns while they play StarCraft. And today's theme may in fact be people who lost to the previous player and are already mentally broken as a result. Now, that's actually good. Pulling to SCV straight away is the correct response, guys. That's actually a good response, right? The wrong response is to not pull enough workers. Is he going to try and wall him in? No, he's just going to try and defend. The Probe being a bit of a D-bag. Meanwhile, Protoss player's chilling, putting workers on gas. Probe's going to back away. Okay, guys, so Sinch. Now, Sinch is the changer of ways, right, guys? This is like Sinch... Is the Eye of Horror a Sinch thing, right? It's been a long time since I played old world fantasy Warhammer back in the day, guys, and I never played Chaos, but Tzeentch is a Chaos god, and Tzeentch is also playing for the Champions, which is a Canadian team. I met a bunch of their players over in Ottawa recently, so awesome to see you guys. I assume this is submitted from Tzeentch since the opponent's already called you names, though who knows? We have in the past had Assault Mines where it turned out it was like a self-report and both sides were calling each other names. But I imagine Tzeentch has sent this one in. eBay finishes. You're not meant to finish that, guys. You're meant to cancel it at 3/4 complete, so you can, almost complete, so you can get the refund on 75% of the cost. But I guess it has armor when it's finished building, so it does block the building for a little bit longer. Tzeentch is indeed the changer of ways and magic. He's one of the 4 main Chaos gods. He's the god of change and schemes and nonsense. He's Magnus the Red's new dad. Oh, all right. Very nice. If you guys have any other cool Tzeentch facts, share them in the chat. Warhammer lore is exceptionally fun. And I am pretty much exclusively for the last month part of the Loot and Sleep crew. I don't know if you guys ever go through waves of just listening to stuff when you go to sleep. I used to listen to a lot of audiobooks while I was sleeping, but I haven't been listening to many audiobooks right now because I've just finished listening to so many, as well as I read a physical book recently, which is wild. I don't do that very often these days. Reaper's going to come in, grab a few probes. Oh! And the Reaper is going to back away. Oh, he's going to go down. Stalker gets that last shot as the Reaper's mid-animation does go down. Captain Taxed is going to be going Concussive Marauder opening, as well as a bunker next to the ramp. That's an interesting bunker placement. Okay, all right. I mean, it's not the worst opening for Terran. Not my favorite by any means. You guys know I'm kind of not the biggest fan of Marauder openings. Protoss is going to go... Oh, Glaive Adept. Okay. All right, Glaive Adept. Zealot's going to walk in. He says, hello. Oh, can he not get that SCV? Get him. Roar! 9-foot-tall boy with 2 laser swords attached to his hand says, get back here, you stupid Marauder. Is he going to get a second SCV? That's a big snipe. If he can get it. Oh, I want you to get the SCV. Zealot's going to go down to the Marauder in the bunker. Stalker wants that SCV. Hardcore does take care of it. And because that Marauder's damaged, I think the Stalker can probably beat it outside of the bunker. Good stutter step here, but... Oh, Concussive Shell Marauder says, you can't leave! And that Stalker will be going down. Nice. Defense by Tax. Loses a few SCVs. Bit of denial. I think the main thing is, like, missing SCV and mule production during this is what really hurts Terran when they're busy dealing with this, if they're not a pro gamer, right? Like, for me, I always find sometimes I'll have, like, an amazing defense at the start of a TVP, and then I go and look at it, and I'm like, you missed 3 SCVs being produced during that. Oh, God. Like, I'm in huge trouble. Loot and Sleep crew here as well. You should listen to all Guardsman parts. Oh, okay. All right. That's the next recommendation. I fall asleep so quickly, though. I occasionally get, like, 5 minutes in before I fall asleep. For those who don't know, Luton is basically just Warhammer lore. You know, just talks about Warhammer lore. That Adept, why'd you hit her? Wow, that's a bit mean. That Adept just hit her friend. Now, Glaive Adept openings are basically not great, but they are funny. The advantage is you can shade in and kill workers very quickly. The downside is once there's a ball of stim bio, it's kind of defunct. Oh, but Tax builds a Cyclone. That's a 5. This Cyclone is so late. It's not really helpful. You really want to get a lot of stim bio. Big ball of bio, especially Widow Mines, will gun down Adepts like crazy. And it's going to be charge afterwards, so it's Glaives into charge, into third base. I mean, Sinch is playing an absolute Chaos God style for sure. Bit of a crazy style. Catches the Cyclone. I don't know why there was a Cyclone this late. Third CC's building on the natural. That's really exposed, actually. I kind of feel like you should just attack that with your Adepts. I'm just going to shade in right now. There's not many Marines and Marauders to guard this. This is really scary for Captain Tax. Captain Tax has just been so slow to get 3 barracks up and producing. And the command center is indeed exposed. Honestly, you could maybe target that down. He's going to try and fight here. Marauders taking damage. Medevac. Pick up. Oh my god, he actually picked up the Marines. I was like, wait, why am I expecting this average? This isn't Clem I'm watching, and I was expecting him to pick up units to dodge projectiles. And I'm like, mate, you're not watching Clem. Calm down, pig. Asking for that level of try-hard micro is a bit of a reach. Siege Tank should be able to move down and just A-move this, because it's not a light unit, which means the Adepts don't do bonus damage to it. But Taxed is so paranoid right now. Remember, guys, Captain Tax, Serpent Tax, sorry, did say eat shit and die at the start of this series, which is a pretty interesting way to start. Any bets on what race beat them in the previous game, guys? I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was, hold on, a Protoss player. Anyone else agree with that? Or it's got to be right. Or they've played before. But I didn't get any info about them having played before in the email. Otherwise, I would have written myself a note on the replay to say, oh, you know, they played before this or something. Just juggled a Marauder pig. Yeah, well, he's juggling a Marauder while terribly mismacroing. That's what I'm saying. And he did end up picking up the Marines as well, right? I was like, what? So I shouldn't be expecting that micro. It is just bonus points whenever he does it, but we'll see what happens. It was 100% a Protoss that beat them earlier. Yeah, probably. We've got some Zealots running around now. Zinch is kind of in trouble in that Zinch hasn't really built an economic advantage despite ruining Tax's opening. But they cancelled the third command center. Tax is now re-walling. Tax looks so paranoid in this game, so traumatized, right? And I think this speaks to why you don't tell your opponent at the start of the game you're traumatized, right? Because then they know. And then they can take advantage of you. And this is not a wall-off, bro. That's the diagonal between these two guys. Remember, command centers, Nexus, and hatcheries all have curved edges. And therefore, you need to build a depot here if you want that to be a wall-off. But lots of idling for Tax. Still hasn't finished saturating 2 bases. Is building a second engineering bay, but without an armory, there's not going to be any purpose for it. You could just start +1 armor on this engineering bay. So the build order's lacking any sort of cohesion or direction for Serpent Tax. And you can kind of tell that Serpent Tax is just tilted from the game before this game. And I got to say, I'd have a lot of things to say about Sinch's build order, because I think it's probably garbage. But I'm not going to say that, because what Sinch has done, harassed with a probe, harassed with a Zealot Stalker, got in there with 5 Adepts with Glaives, it did some damage, ran across the map with Zealots, had a look around. So what Zinch is active, right? And activity trumps perfect build orders and perfect efficiency a lot of the time in StarCraft. Being active, scouting what's happening. Look at this. Oh, you're moving out? Guess what? I'm going to shade in. And the whole army turns around. He panic attacks his own depot. Oh, no. The Adepts commit to the shade despite seeing the entire army coming back. That is a crazy, chaotic decision. But I would expect nothing less from the Changer of Ways. And does throw those Adepts away. Not the best trade. At least he kills the depot there with the Siege Tank panic A-moving on it. Mass Zealot's coming in, but I don't know if Mass Zealot beats this army. Yeah, it does. There's not enough Marines. Where's the Marines? The bio count's just been so bad all game. These barracks have come up so late. So 18 Zealots. I mean, there is +1 for both sides. No armor for the Zealots. If these 2 Colossus get out, that is a big problem. Scanning Mass Zealot, first thing you should do when you see Mass Zealot is pull back and wait for a bigger bio army. Serpent Tax just saw Mass Zealot and is continuing forwards with a mostly Siege Tank army. Siege Tanks are countered by Zealots. You want to get these Siege Tanks back on the high ground, secure this quick third that you took. I know it's not super quick because the previous one got cancelled, and gear up for like 8 barracks production and really getting into there. But we're going 5 barracks and a second starport. You spotted Mass Zealot. Now we see a Colossus and Mass Zealot. Mate, you can see that's more Zealots than you have Marines. You want to run away, not towards it. Serpent Tax runs towards the Colossus Zealot. The Marines in a clump get eviscerated. That was a decision that just got made. You just made a decision. Ruffle, Protoss is such a joke. F2A move. Bad game for sure. Bad game. I think we have our answer, guys. I think it was indeed a Protoss player. And what's impressive here, guys, Cinch, I appreciate you sending the replay. You didn't even win this game. I think we all need to credit the people who came before us to build the society that we all live in and appreciate it. And likewise, Cinch, I think you really need to find the previous Protoss opponent in Serpentac's match history and send them a DM and say, thank you. Just so you know, that guy you beat, super tilted, crushed him. He'd lost before the game even started. Thank you, previous Protoss guy that played my opponent. Well done. All right, guys, going into the next game here. That's right, we got a two-parter today. At least 2 parts. We'll see how many. Top right, we've got a barcode who says, so what's your name even mean? That's an interesting question. That really is a case of the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? Spartan Sold. I always call him Spartan Sold, but I believe it's not actually Spartan Sold because he's corrected me on this before, I believe. What's your name even mean? Have fun, good luck, says Spartan Sold. And they're like, oh, question mark? And the barcode up here says, question mark, what's it mean? What's your name mean, bro? What's a Spartan Sold? And to be fair, yeah. Okay, so barcode, say that's how I always read it as Spartan Sold as well. I think it's Spartans Old, though, or something like that. Because I've seen Spartan around a bunch in the community. Yeah, it is. It's Spartans Old. I still don't know what that means, though. I guess he's saying I'm an old Spartan. His name's, I don't know. I still don't know the name. We're not doing the best of explaining the name. You don't need to explain your name. I really think he should be saying, how about you? What about your name? WTF does that mean? Sounds dumb as fuck. You can tell this is some really cool discourse coming out of the barcode player who's forgotten to take a gas at this point, guys. I mean, they could actually be doing a gasless expand, which I think is an underrated build order. It's a joke, says Spartans Old. So are you, I suppose. Wow, that's a good comeback, that is. You're a joke. This is very much like when I was 4 years old and my older brother first taught me the ultimate trifecta of naughty words that we weren't allowed to say. You guys let me know in the comments, the chat, your ones. For me, it was poo. He taught me poo first, then bum, and then wee-wee. And he was like, can't let the parents know I'm telling you this, but these are the naughty words. We're not allowed to say these. And I was 4. So I immediately responded by running around the house screaming, poo bum wee-wee, poo bum wee-wee, poo bum wee-wee. And it was like my favorite thing to do. Occasionally, I'd just randomly be like, this situation seems like a situation where I'm not meant to do naughty things, like we're at church or something. And I'd be like, poo bum wee wee, poo bum wee wee. And my parents would be like, oh God, he's at it again. Yeah. And my brother was like, you little shit, you can't keep a secret at all. It was great. It was good times. And I feel like very much this barcode player hasn't really progressed past that level of insults, naughty words, and banter. They said, it's a joke. So are you, I suppose. Spartan Soul dropped a question mark. Barcode drops a question mark and says, you must be retarded then. Yeah. Pretty high level banter, I gotta say. Pretty high level. I do think I would love to see like a banter showdown, like a shit talk competition between my 4-year-old self and this barcode. I think it would be a very even match. I think like they'd be like, well, are you retarded? And I'd be like, poo bum, you're a poo bum, you're a poo bum. And then I'd like give them a wet willy. That was a big one as well when I first went to kindergarten. The wet willy was going around a lot. I think I would mess this noob up with a wet willy, man. Oh, the Overlord's escape. It's so much effort to get this Overlord. I don't think Spartan cares about this anymore. Let's talk about the game, guys. Ling speed's on the way. 4 queens. Bit of a 2-base opening for Spartan versus a 1-Rax expand into delayed factory. Lots of minerals and gas floating. And this has got to be a mech player, surely. But they're just not spending their money. They really... You know when like your opponent spends too much effort chasing an Overlord and you're like, maybe he's mismacroing? But you don't really expect your opponent to be doing nothing else at home. This guy was actually doing nothing else at home. Finally throws down a 3rd command center. Has 300 gas in the bank for God knows why. No add-ons building and is going to build... Oh my God, Mick, is this you? Guys, I've told you guys many times the story of my good real-life friend Mick, who hasn't played StarCraft in a while. This is how he used to wall off in 2010 when StarCraft 2 first came out when we played team games. He'd legit leave giant multiple holes, and he'd wall off with like the dumbest set of structures in the most inefficient way. But like, what am I looking at right now? At least this guy's sealing off. He sells the bunker and then rebuilds it. This is the most vulnerable wall you could imagine. It's 3 of the weakest structures. It's basically an opening that will get busted immediately by like Banes or Roaches or anything. Oh my God, what a disaster of a game. And he's building a tank, a single tank, and going for... This player's just going to sit there with their dong in their hands doing nothing all game, aren't they? This is like a guy who's playing mech, but like just doing it so inefficiently. Like no pressure from the Terran, but also not that effectively greedy. Spartan's got a lot of time to take advantage. Unfortunately for Spartan, they've expanded towards the Terran, something you pretty much never want to do. Occasionally when you play Roach Ravager, definitely not when you play Mutalisks. So Spartan's going to play Mutas. Mutas, pretty good to start against mech with a round of Mutas, especially if it's a player like this who's just been so slow to develop their play because they don't have anything that shoots up just yet. But you don't want to overcommit to Mutas. If you play Mass Mutiling Bane and you think that's good, you want to remember, guys, about the show match we always reference. Raynor insisted around 2020, I want to say, that Mutiling Bane beats mech because mech is trash. Raynor's a big fan of making statements about things being bad or good in StarCraft and absolutes. He's usually wrong. And yeah, he basically played a several $100 show match with Marine Lord where he said, yeah, you play mech every game, I'll play Lingbane Muta every game. There's no way I can lose. And he did get 3-0'd in some of the most one-sided games we've ever seen. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. I mean, if they know you're just going to play Lingbane, turns out they can make a lot of Blue Flame Hellions and Widow Mines, guys. Lingbane kind of struggles against that, even with Raynor's micro. And he's like, you know, Mutas against Mines and Thors is a disaster. Planetary tries to go up, but the Lings get here. Oh my god, no melee upgrade. Can he kill the Planetary? It's gonna finish erecting, but it might take a lot of damage before then. And you know what? He kills the turrets first, so the Mutas can finish it off. The command center cancels, which is probably the right call. And this was one of the worst expansion attempts I've ever seen. This is the, like, I just hope my opponent doesn't know how to deal with a Planetary, and if I get the Planetary up, I'm okay. But if he doesn't get the Planetary up, what's he gonna do? Like, what's the plan? Like, and even if you get it up, what if your opponent knows how to make 70 workers and then just roll units into it? They can just make a big enough army to crush that. This is a disastrous playstyle. There's still only 2 factories, only 1 with a tech lab. Yeah, there's a few more building, but what have you got? 1 Viking, 2 tanks, and 4 Marines at 6 minutes. This is some awful macro from the Barcode Terran. Now, Spartan, spreading creep, has ignored the creep on this right side, which is, I think, the most important on this map. But we'll see what happens. 4th base in the bottom left as well. Spy is there. Okay. 59, 62 workers coming up. Spartans got an economy advantage, but I think they're going to need a much bigger one. And if they could go... I mean, they should know it's battle mech now, right? Or not battle mech, but just regular mech. If Spartan can go mass swarm host, that'd be good. Ultras aren't the worst because at least they're an A-move unit. You could, if you're going melee carapace, you can go Ultras. They're not the best against mech, but they're not the worst. They're very easy to use as well, right? You just need to have an open area and roll at your opponent. No, don't bust in. Oh, no, God. I mean, this is the worst. If this was a good wall, this would be a terrible move. If he sends Lings in front, the Banes could blow up the wall and maybe get rid of the siege tanks because there's so little support. It's literally 3 tanks, 4 Marines. Spartan, I think, is going to do what I call an exploratory surgery, guys. You know, sometimes they got to cut into you just to see what's in there. In StarCraft, not necessarily the best idea, but it can work. He's definitely thinking about going up that ramp. Overseer goes in, seeing a few tanks on top of a ramp, enough to scare most Zergs away. There's so few units, he could just A-move. The front or the right side, either one would work. Single Zerglings here are going to try and block this base getting taken. Hydroden and Infestation Pit are on the way. Spartan's got full map control, and I think Spartan's really waiting for the Barcode to make a play. But Spartan's a little bit confused about what to do next because they're like, you don't have anything and you're not doing anything. And sometimes Zergs are so used to like reacting around their opponent's attacks and letting their opponent decide their strategy that they're like, if the opponent just sits in their corner just kind of furiously jerking, they kind of go, oh, I don't know what to do against this. And that's how I would describe the Barcode style right now, as a man furiously touching himself. Oh, this base gets denied. Stuck on 2 base. I mean, this is... What is this army? 4 Cyclones, 4 Libs. Like I said, even if the Lingbane attacks in there, there's no Hellions or Widow Mines. Like, 4 Hellions is not very many. The Lingbane might be able to just overwhelm this, even though it's not the best army. Hydras are coming in as well as a Hive. 5th base getting taken up here. Spartan, definitely with an interesting expansion pattern. I think these 2 bottom left bases are so easy to defend. But yeah, this is crazy, man. This Terran player is going triple armory for upgrades on 2 base. I mean, the lack of fundamentals on players like this is wild, right? They just spend so much time doing so little. Gonna try and bait him into the tanks and the Libs. I think that's enough Lingbane to just go. I think if Spartan just commits, he can honestly just A-move it. He's only on 72 workers, so I can understand he doesn't want to throw his units away. But there's no blue flame. There's not that many aliens. Oh my god, the Cyclone Alien moved towards the Zerglings for a second. Okay, Spartans running back and forwards on the edge of the Terran range. Something we're going to have to back away from now. Got to either commit or run. One or the other. Hydralisk upgrades have both been queued up, and the Hydras joining in will help out. 11 more workers are on the way. Spartan's taking a while, man. I think Spartan's giving too much time. Look at the supply. If your opponent's been sitting on 2 base this long, you're going to 5 base. I think if we were going to play 80, 90 drones, Spartan really needs to make this decision earlier because they're giving so much time to their opponent. Now, the opponent hasn't really been able to use their SCVs very efficiently, is going to try and repair the planetary and then get mining. And he's going to try and move into the open, but the libs aren't even sieged. If the Lingbane jumped on this right now, this is wide open. The libs aren't even sieged. There's so few defensive units, no tanks on the high ground. This is such a wildly vulnerable player. 3 Vipers and an Ultra Coven coming out. Spartans up to 82 workers, which is really good. If Spartan just keeps taking bases, transferring workers to them, they could do really well. Probably should open these minerals up as well, just so they can rally to the right side a bit easier. But I'd love to see the whole army smash into this ramp. There's almost nothing defending on that side. And he's actually selling his wall off, which is a wild decision. And the barcode, like, what are we doing here? Okay, now he's going to wall off with an extra depot layer. It's still very vulnerable. That's so vulnerable. Adrenal's on the way. 2-2-2. I mean, you know what's great, guys? This Terran player's already talked a bit of shit. It really is the most incompetent players. Has he done any harassment? Like, what's his vision? He scanned the main, and he saw the creep here once. Like, this Terran's literally done nothing all game. I truly think there is a subset of humans who play StarCraft, the best interactive multiplayer real-time strategy in the world. And I think their goal is to try to play a city builder single-player game. Do they know Frostpunk exists? Lingbane Hydra's going to try and break it. The libs are facing the wrong direction. Baneley's going towards the Hellions and the Cyclones. But the Planetary and the tanks do hold. Spartan washes up. Oh, and misclicking the units around because these minerals making the units path in a bit of a derpy direction. But Spartan's got the money to remax. And like I said, if Spartan rotates or just even hammers the same side again, probably can overwhelm with sheer numbers, especially if you use abducts on the libs to pull them out of siege mode. Maybe Blinding Cloud, some siege tanks could be good as well. This could be massive. What's the APM of the Terran? 172 of nothing. 173 average APM and doing almost nothing with it. The burrowed Zergling denying the base. Oh, the parasitic bomb is sick, but the Vipers fly to their death. Oh no! I do remember Spartan told me actually in their submission for this, they said, "Oh, I tried to practice my Viper micro in this game. I don't think my Viper micro was very good just yet. I may have made some doo-doos." It's a great parasitic bomb, but them charging to their death was a bit of good, a bit of bad. 2-2-2s coming in for the Terran, but 3-3s almost there for the Zerg units. The Hydras don't have any upgrades, but there's no Hydras anymore. It's pure Ultraling Bane. I'd love to see Spartan rotate, you know? General rule for late game ZVT, especially against mech guys, attack one side with half your army, Remax attack the other side. Remax, attack the first side. Then the just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Blinding Cloud's going to go in. Oh, this is a terrible choke point to attack through. No, there's a big ramp on the left. We should have gone through the ramp. There's enough Banelings and Ultras to break the planetary anyway. Spartan says it's not about the size of the hole. It's about the size of whatever you jam into it. We all look askance at him and say, that's a kind of fucked up thing to say, bro. He just smiles and winks. And we all go, making StarCraft weird again. Welcome to people that watch Pigstarcraft channel, guys. To be fair, he killed enough, it doesn't matter. His opponent may have 75 workers, but they've barely got a third base mining. Main's mined out. Natural's almost gone. As long as Spartan's Remax can deny the fourth, the barcode is dead in the water out of this game. They just don't have enough money coming in. Even with some mules dropping, they're way down. But Spartan has not taken extra bases on the left. Spartan really could have benefited from that. Has been transferring workers pretty well, though. I gotta say, that's not bad. Yeah, not bad, not bad. 84 workers, probably taking a ton of gas as well. There's only one Viper, which is a shame, because, man, imagine a bunch of Blinding Clouds across that whole army when they went in. How old are these Salt Mines games? How are these people playing this map? This is clearly from the old season. I don't know when this map was from. The previous one was on the current map pool. I don't care when people's replays are from. If the replay loads and it has someone being a salty dickhead, dude, he's killing his command center. The Corruptors came in, he panic A moved and accidentally clicked on his command center. Almost killed it, but the sieges, he had to unsiege the tanks. You can press stop and they'll stop shooting it, but most people don't know that. So you gotta either press stop on siege tanks or you've got to unsiege them to stop them doing it. We're attacking through the tiniest choke point again. Oh my god, Spartan, no! Why would you go through here? What is this attack angle? Ladies and gentlemen, evidence number 432 of chucking a Zerg. Now, anyone, I know there's always a few new people. Most of my regular viewers know about chucking a Zerg. You all know what it is, chucking a Zerg. This is a StarCraft concept that has existed since day one. What often happens in StarCraft 2 is a Zerg player will get in an unlosable position. Sorry, there is one addendum, not completely unlosable. Unlosable unless the Zerg finds the most well-defended choke point in the entire game and crams their entire army into that choke point and throws it into the meat grinder, not just once, not just twice, but 3 or more times. And this is why people say, why do Terrans and Protoss stay in games when they're down 100 supply versus Zerg? And the reason is they are waiting for the Zerg to chuck a Zerg. And this happens a decent amount of the time. Zerg players there is this, it's like, it's a magnetic attraction. If, as a Zerg, you could have a wide open, this is so easy to bust. This ramp, not too hard to bust. But there is something about seeing a tiny, tiny choke point and we go, ooh, I want to stick it in there. You know, it's essentially, it's an unhealthy addiction. We're going to do it again, aren't we? Dude, he's going to do it again, isn't he? Just go around! Go around! But I've done this 1,000 times. And not just me, pro gamers do this as well. It is so, like, I kid you not, there is a reason I've been talking about chucking a Zerg for years. It's because I've thrown so many games by doing this. It's just you get too stressed, you get tense, and, like, just part of your critical thinking shuts down and you just... Like, you see your opponent, he's like, got, like, you know the guy who's, like, got the flags, who's, like, waving the plane and stuff? They're like, come down here, and there's, like, this fucking narrow road with, like, machine guns on both sides and, like, spike traps and fucking, there's literally overlaying fire from both sides. We're like, let's go down this road. This seems like a good idea. He's gonna do it again. Oh, but he A-moved, and accidentally, half of his army A-moves to the left because his positioning was so bad that the Vipers, he was focused on the Vipers doing amazing blinding clouds in the back. So half of his Ultras go around the left. That was an accidental split on the army. Spartan sold, saved by his own focus on the Vipers. Spartan accidentally went through the better choke point. Absolutely goated. That is how a Zerg player does it. We don't attack correctly on purpose. We only do it accidentally. Spartan, you have achieved your full Zerg license. This is the most Zerg play I have ever seen. You are playing like a proper Zerg player. Honestly, this barcode has no business still being in this game. We're remaxing on Ultras again. Lings are going to try to run in. If they get on the tanks, that would be great. Go for the tanks. I guess they killed the command center and the SCV, which is something. Spartan is like, I will not let you mine this base. And don't get me wrong, denying this base is good. But you can do that by attacking this side. Then when his army moves up to defend that, then you can deny this base. You don't need to just headbutt the choke point repeatedly. Yeah, the choke point, it's like a Matador cape. Yeah. Zerg players are Spanish bulls, man. We are not intelligent. Planetary is going to take some good shots on those Zerglings. They will run past there as well. Thor's Vikings. Oh, these Ultras, only 2 of them. 2 Ultras can't fight this, but he's got a lot more coming out behind it. Just getting baited in. Kind of funny watching Thor's kite Ultralisks, as the Ultras are much faster. Zerglings are going to keep running past. Spartan building 9 more Overlords right now as he's lost a few Overseers. And these Ultras can kill their Planetaries pretty well, actually. Uh-oh, Vipers are going to take some damage. But gets out of vision. Nice. A few more Ultras rallying into this and getting taken out. Still hasn't taken some of the left bases, but one of the bases did go down. Ultras are going to kill a bunch of the repairing SCVs with the splash damage, which is really nice. Spartan, look at that, even targeted the SCVs. Well done. He moved around to try and get maximum surface area. Overlords are going down, though. Spartan needs to calm down. There's still a bigger... Oh my god, Terrans ahead in army supply with 333. Oh no. And we're building drones. Don't build drones right now. No. I get it. I get you want to reset your economy. You got to make army, bro. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Dude, if we split our Ultras up, we could be screwed. No. We're rallying in a few at a time. Spartan split up. The tanks are a bit slow to siege, thankfully. The Ultras, they're getting gunned down by the Thors, though. But the army's split up right now for the Terran as well. If the Terran had their whole ball together, I think they'd gun that down. The top army does get cleaned up. It's enough Ultras to clean the north side. I don't think they can fight into these libs, though. Don't attack into the lib zones. The libs are all sieged on the exact same spot, though, guarding the siege tanks. You cannot go in that parasitic bomb. Oh, you know you want to parasitic bomb those. Come on! Vikings are down here as well as 3 Thors on the rally. Zerg has no bank, but is up 70 supply, and the Ultras are going to go across for a bit of a base trade. The Libs are going to guard the ramp, which means the Zerg base is forfeit. You got to quickly rebuild this tech elsewhere. He's going to drop mules to repair, because this guy is indeed a very smart, big brain StarCraft player. Planetary is going to die to that siege tank Planetary over there. The mules are not on auto repair, so they are just chilling. You do need to tell them to auto repair. Ultra goes down to the Planetary on the other side. More Ultras and Lings are building. Rebuilds the Ultra Cavern in the spawning pool. Probably the most important things. Does need like a Hydroden or a Spire as well, though. Because otherwise you can't build anything mobile that shoots up. The Viper's out there getting shot by the Lib. That could drag Spartan's attention to this and maybe allow him to drop a power bomb, but otherwise the Libs will take care of it, and that's going to be... Oh, no! Spartan loses the Viper! Oh, okay. Ultras are going to run in, but going to lose at least quite a few units to the Libs, the tank, the bunker, and the Planetary. There we go. Does take out the Ultra, but... the Planetary, sorry, but the Ultra's taking big damage. 2 of them barely surviving. These mules still not repairing here, so triple mules drop for no essential reason. There is still mining coming in. This is the problem. There is no income for the barcode right now. There's 4 Corruptors, and those 4 Corruptors, they can fight these Libs away from the Thors. They could do well. The Queen goes down there, microing back a Reddit point siege tank. Not a bad idea. Still a lot of Ultra Zergling. Honestly, alone could A-move that ground army if they just come around this right side and don't fight into the Lib zones, and then the Corruptors can clear up everything else. Spire does rebuild behind it, which is a good move. Did he rebuild the lair? Oh, he rebuilt the lair. Well done, Spartan. Spartan rebuilding the lair there. The Libs are going to go Overlord hunting. Yeah, they do have +3, so they actually do pretty decent damage, man. Oh, but the Lings just surround the ground up. It's on move command as well. It wasn't even on A move. Oh, no. Okay, so now the Libs are going to try and kill stuff, but here come the Corruptors. The Corruptors could just A move this. Yeah, he's trying to, like, target fire them. I think you just A-move this as Spartan. Spartan's trying to fight with Spore Crawlers as well. The Corruptors are like, oi, come over my Spore Crawlers, dickhead. Come over here, man. Plenty of Ultra Ling, no. And I think it's time for the Terran Copium to kick in. At this point, there's not even a choke point for the Zerg to chuck their army into. A-move until I'm spent, LOL. Yes. And this was terrible A-move as well. It was really bad. Guess it works. GG, retard. Okay, very cool comments from the barcode player. Very cool. Really cool. You did lose to it. No other actual skill, just a move. Oh, and now homophobic slur. Let's go. Calling them a hag. Very nice, very nice. Cool guy. Super cool guy. Spartan's like, so what's your skill then? What did you do? If I only A moved, I have no other skill. What specifically is your skill? Banging your mom, LOL. Okay. The barcode won this exchange. I gotta give credit where it's due. I have to give credit where it's due. The barcode did win this exchange. And then they immediately threw right afterwards by saying, little for show boy. Bringing the slurs back out. Spartan says, sorry, she's with me. But wait, that's your own mum. Oh no, did Spartan just cell phone? Did Spartan just say his mum's with... Or is this like one of those things you're like, no, I did the wincest with my mum. And you're like, I mean, you're dumb AF. Not as dumb as you. That's true, Spartan. That is true. I mean, Spartans won this no matter what, obviously, by actually winning the game against the dumbass player who just sat there doing nothing for a good 15 minutes. Spartans R-word. Nice. That suits you better. Your name should be Spartan Riri. What does that say of you, though? And that's the winning comment, really, at the end of it all, when your opponent's like, you're an idiot. You're a poo-poo head. You suck. You have no skill. Well, what does that make you? If I'm terrible at StarCraft, what does it say about you? Spartan does end up winning in the end. Dude, that was an impressive... I see this choke point, and, like, I love it, because, like, maybe... Do you guys think it's because there's this little symbol drawn on the map? And Spartan's like, that means I go... Like, this was, like, little Matador. He's like, look! That's like a little... There's, like, a little road I meant to run my army down. Units lost tab does end up 16,000 in favor of the barcode player, but the barcode player is so slow to get a third. The attempt to go float a command center to the planetary was so dumb, and basically just put themselves in purgatory forever, slowly building up tanks. Took them forever to get their third established and was just way too far behind. But I think what we really have to say is this is 2 games in a row today where the players had lost the game before the game started. Game 1 was, F you, eat crap and die. The second game here was, what's your name mean anyway? Stupid, this is a stupid name. Your name doesn't make sense. And I think we really have to credit the players that came before us and tilted these players before we even got a chance to, because they really are the heroes who put these guys on life tilt. We just come in and clean up those MMR, those beautiful wins. We get that matchmaking rating and we climb the ladder because of it. Thank you to everyone out there tilting these noobs. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the Salt Mines. It's good to be back with a couple of episodes recently. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Links up here and below in the description. You can get some exclusive perks if you want to go ahead and support the channel that extra little bit. Speaking of people who do that, massive thank you to everyone in this list here. We really appreciate all of you. Special thanks to Ninja's Monkey up on the Leviathan tier and our conductors of the D-Town Express, Peden N, Dragosar, Ivy, OKH, and of course, another thanks to Ninja's Monkey, because that Leviathan tier is massively, massively appreciated. We'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to submit your replays. Info's in the description, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Salt Mines. GG, well played.